My mother was old. She was born back in slavery time. She was 15 when her and my daddy got married, and they had 15 babies. And I'm the baby of 15. And she died in 1996. My daddy died in 1980. He was way up in age. He was farm. He made everything. He cooked everything. We had no food, and we had to make it. We have to put potatoes, we French fries. We taken string beans and pole beans, all the kind of beans my daddy grew, carrots and beets and everything. We had a good life. We had good food and everything. But after all, my mother died. But my mother didn't suffer. She was up, and I went to see her, and she just died. She's of old age. My daddy died of old age. And they left nobody but me and one sister, just me and Clotilde Matthews. But she made 105, June the 13th, 1913, that's when she was born. And we had a wonderful life. Our daddy helped my mother. We had the drugstore was a Watkin man came through on a truck, and he was selling like the pharmacist sells in the store for us to have, because we didn't know what no store was, pharmacy or nothing like that. Had one doctor, his name was Dr. Clovis. He took care of all of us. We had one grocery store. And I remember my mother telling the lady at the grocery store, she said, give my daughter and my children in the morning time a moon cake. That's a great big old cake that we would have, moon cake and cheese for us to go to school with. And the bus picked us up, and we had lots of food at our house. We had snakes that goes in their chicken coop and suck the eggs, kill the chickens, and we used to call, I forget the name of the snake, a cane snake. He was and he used to go in there and rattle the chickens up and get the eggs soon as they come out to lay the chicken. But we was born in slavery. I think I was about 9 years old when even I was registered with the city or Washington, D.C. or whatever. But I was, at that time, I was in this war for 9 years before they knew anything about it. And
you mean before they did your birth certificate, you were 9?
Yeah, I was 9 years old.
Wow. Can you tell me about your apron and your dictionary?
Okay, my dictionary, when I was going to school, when I finished school, my mother gave me this dictionary. We all used this dictionary. My sisters and brothers that I had 8 brothers. All of them passed, and I had 7 of us and just 2 of us living. I'm 88, and my sister's 105. She's very smart. She goes to the center every day. The bus picks her up and take her to the center in Baton Rouge. But she is very smart. She don't have no Alzheimer's that I can see wrong with her brains, because she can think everything that we did when we was a young girl. But this apron, my mother made all kind of aprons. She used to quilt. She made all of us clothes, and the only store that we know anything about was Montgomery Ward, and she used to order the material, and she sold for all of us. She made quilts. She did all kind of stuff to make a living for us.
Yes, and that apron has something on it too, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, the apron is a towel. The towel is for my mother not to run to the sink and wash her hands. She had the towel so she could wipe her hands with. She made it so all of her aprons, I got a blue, I got a pink one, all different colors, and she put the towel on the apron so that she wouldn't have to go to the zinc, keep running to the zinc. She had a tied onto her apron. And that's what she had. But all the time, she would, all the time. I remember before my mama died, my children gave her some money, and she told me like this, said, no, I don't want it. He said, when you leave, when the children leave, I want you to take the money and make like you done give it to her. And from one thing to another, it was amazing. I have a picture of her and my daddy when they was old, and they had took it in the sun, and they got $1. They were so proud of that dollar that he wanted to take the dollar and hold it up so people could see the dollar. And that's where they lived. But we had a wonderful life.
So the dollar, that was the first time they paid him in cash?
First time they really had money. Really had money. We didn't have no money. Wasn't no Social Security coming by. The only thing we got was some dry plume, yellow corn meal. We had a little flour, and they had to go to the corn mill to get sugar. They all did all kind of different stuff to make a living. Everything that we raised to eat. Didn't go to the grocery store or nothing like that. My daddy used to raise hogs, chickens, all of that, and we had all of that to eat. But my mother used to wash. We had only a bar soap, was oxygen soap. We had to do everything with the oxygen soap. I remember now, long years ago, she used to take and scrub with it. We had to get on our knees and scrub with a brick. No broom. You had to scrub the whole floor with a brick. That's the kind of life I lived for my baby on. And this dictionary been following me all the way my life. 88 years old this year. Dictionary is mine. This apron is mine. My mother had all kind of different things. The first quilt that I had, she take it. I was going to, my nephew, oldest nephew, come and got me to get a job after I finished school. And my mother told me to wait. She was in church. She said, Ruby, I want to give you something. And she got out of church, come home, and she gave me a quilt. And I saved that quilt until Katrina came through, and I had 6 feet of water in my house. And I lost everything that she ever did for me. She lost the quilt and everything. But I'm still here.
So how did you save the dictionary and the apron?
Wait a minute. I had a job. And the important things that I wanted to put up, my job was on Broadway Street at the Lambert House. I was taking care of patients. I did 35 years at Baptist Hospital. Okay, well then, the dictionary, my mother gave it when I was a young girl. That's all she gave to me.
So you brought the dictionary and the apron, you left them at the Lambert house?
No. What happened? I pushed my cedar robe upside the window. And I put this and the things that my mother gave me, I put it up on top of it, and the mold went all the way around it and didn't touch it. That's how God works. Didn't touch that dictionary, just dictionary, look, and didn't touch these aprons. I don't know why, but the good Lord saved all that, my stuff that my mother gave me. I couldn't save the quilt because the water had messed it all up. But my life is okay. I worked out, I was 88, just well to say 80. I left Baptist Hospital, I had 35 years, and I worked at different places, took care of different homes, worked in the nursery. I worked on the riverfront. That's another thing. I used to scale ships on the riverfront, go in the bottom of the ships and scale them, bring all the dirt in the field and stuff out there. I had a wonderful life. I learned how to do everything. All my life I worked. I enjoy working. I went to school, went to school, went to school. That's my life. I have a son, Thomas Greer. He making 67 years old, December the 7th. That's my life. And I worked hard every day of my life.
Thank you, Miss Ruby.
Yeah, that's what happened to me. But this dictionary been following me, and the good Lord saved it. I pushed the cedar roll outside the wall, took this dictionary, and I put it on the top of this, and the good Lord saved it. That mold went all around it and didn't touch it. That's why God fixed it that way. Went all around it and didn't touch it. And I was so surprised I didn't know what to do. That this Bible, the good Lord saved this for me. This is all of this in my apron here, and I got more aprons, but that was my mama's life. This here.
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't touch it though. And I slept out on the streets from January on up until March. I slept in the street. I've been homeless, but God wasn't ready for me. That's right. I've been homeless. I've been on the street. I didn't have no clothes or nothing when Katrina come by. It was a horrible life that you live.
But you survived.
Huh?
But you survived.
Well, first thing, I slept on the street until I got tired, and I went and got in my car, and I had some blankets and things, and that's how I survived. That's just how I survived. No nothing. We didn't have nothing. I didn't have anything. But that's where the life goes on like that. But I had a good life. I took care of a lot of patients.
How did you get from your car into another place to stay?
Well, then I didn't. I was on Britannia. I rode the flatbed truck. The soldiers pulled me up in the back of the truck and brought me to St. Charles, Napoleon and Britannia. That's where they brought me to. And they dropped me off there, and I stayed 3 days out China on Clearview and the interstate, on the ground, 3 days. They would the soldiers throw some food over there, and all us running trying to get food to eat to survive. That's how I did.
And then what happened after the 3 days?
After that, they come in there about 11 o'clock one night, said, we gotta go. We asked them where was they going. They wouldn't tell us. They just said, we gotta go. Where we going? And then everybody was saying the same thing, but guess what? They wouldn't answer. When I spoke and I said, they must be deaf and dumb, they won't answer us. I said, y'all don't answer them no more. And then they brought me to Houston. From Houston, they brought me to Dallas. When I got to Dallas, it was some soldiers met us at the gate. And that was about 5 o'clock that morning on the plane. And then they took us from there on the bus. And they brought me to San Antonio, Texas. That's where I stayed at until I left and came to Baton Rouge to stay with my niece until January. And then after that, I come and stayed in my car all the other months. That was I think it was about 500 or 600 people were in that era. That's my life.
Yes, ma'am. And then how did you get from your car into better housing?
Well, I tell you this. I slept in my car 3 months. I parked the car in front of my house after the lights came on. And I parked my car right in front. And I slept in that car until I got a trailer in March, last March. And I stayed in that trailer. But the main part about it, the water had washed some cars and stuff in front of the door. I had to get out there when the people brought that trailer there. in March, I had to get out there and help them to push the car in front of my door, push them further back, to put the trailer in front of the door. And that's how I did. Well, I ain't had no liquor or anything, but the man, he was a man, came along, he said, look, let me tell you one thing. He said, you go to the back of that trailer and pull that little door open, and the key is in there. And that's how I started sleeping in that cold trailer. But I made it. By the trailer. And she come in, I said, looked out, and she said, oh, miss. I said, yeah. She said, so cold. I said, you cold? She said, yeah. I said, can you come on in here in my trailer? I said, I have enough room for you to be in there with me. She said, okay. When she got there, I said, are you hungry? She said, yeah. When I took this white girl in, and I took her, put her in my car, and went and got something to eat. We went, and thought she was gonna get one plate of food, but she got two. And she we came on back and sit up in the trailer, and she ate the food. And the next time I saw this girl, she said, Miss Ruby, I said, yeah, you were so good to me. She said, let me tell you something. When I go back to France, she said, I'm gonna bring you something. I will be. About 6 or 7 months later, she come and put that ring on my finger. That's right. She was a beautiful person inside. She was a nice person. But I took her in and fed her and everything. And she went on her way. But she did return with this ring and gave it to me.